Oats has a short list. What you have to remember about oats is about 2 years ago, a new crown rust problem came into the state of Florida. All our varieties, all our favorite varieties, like Horizon 201 and that Ram oat, it's actually has an experimental line number attached, but most people call it Ram. They're both very susceptible to that crown rust. Those are the recommended varieties for South Georgia, for South Alabama, and for all of Florida. But of those varieties, the only one that has resistance to the new strain of crown rust is the Legend 567. So that's our most recent release from this program. Legend is going to be marketed by Mayo Fertilizer. So those of you over there, they're located in Lake City, they decided they want to have some proprietary varieties, and this is their first one. So Legend 567 should be limited seed on the market this fall, and you have to contact that company directly. But I have all the contact information, and one thing I'd like to try to do for EDIS this year is actually put up a list of companies and their contacts, particularly their southern reps, so that you have access to their phone numbers and how to get in touch with them so you can find these varieties pretty much on your own. Okay. Horizon 306, I listed that one last, is a very good forage line. I thought they were not going to be putting it on the market, but it is going to be on the market this year. So that one is very good, very comparable to Horizon 201 and Ram. The Southern States 7650, I don't see it very often. I've seen it in trials, it looks good. But if I had to pick them, I would recommend the Horizon 201 and the Ram Oat first, then the Horizon 306, and of course if they could get the Legend, that would be ideal. If they plant oats, if they are growing it for grazing, it's not as big a concern about the crown rust. But if they're growing it for a silage crop, like a lot of the dairies do, then there's a problem. They may have to be prepared to use a rust fungicide, and there are very few that are labeled for feeding to livestock, so they have to be in the strobularin group. Headline is one that works fairly well. There's a number of them out there, but you can check with Nick Defoe or give me a call if you have dairies that are trying to grow oats for silage. I'll try to walk you through some of the recommended fungicides. You have to spray a little bit right when it starts to head out, and you may even have to have a second application of a fungicide, so that's a concern. How do you get around something like that? You might want to recommend, if it's a beef producer, mixing it with something like a ryegrass, or mixing it with cereal rye. So you make a blend, and a lot of times when you have blends, it reduces the disease occurrence, or the disease outbreak kind of slows it down a little bit. We did this last year for the milk checkoff to show what happens when you make these blends, but the oats came down infected even though they were mixed with ryegrass and they were mixed with rye. The thing is, it wasn't as bad had it been a monoculture of just straight oats.